Hello and welcome to another episode of Outside the Fire. I am your host, Crazy J, and today we're getting to know somebody I've never interviewed before, and I'm really looking forward to this because I've been watching this gentleman do his thing for quite some time, and now's our chance to sit down with him. In this series, I have many people to interview for this one. I'm excited. So this gentleman is competing in the Road to America's belt match, which is I don't want to say an amateur round, but a round to get you an automatic seat into the next belt match. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get through interviews through this series. I think I have 9 of them to get through in the next month or so before the competition. And again, I'm so excited to bring these people in front of you. Please help me welcome Rhett Grizzly Heat Griffin.
What's up, Crazy J? Man, I'm stoked to be here, bro.
Man, I'm so thinking with things happen and stuff like that. It's not always easy, but we're gonna make it work.
Hope everything holds together and I don't lose Wi-Fi or anything. You know how it is.
Okay. Good. Okay, so you can hear me?
Yep, everything's good so far. Uh-oh, I'm glitchy. Hold on one second.
One moment. Oops. No worries.
Hey, can you hear me good, Jay?
I hear you fine. Yep.
Yeah, I was just checking and make sure I was on the right Wi-Fi. I got like 3, so
No
should be
worries.
good now.
No worries. All right. So again, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me and making this happen. So the way I usually start this off is give a little introduction of who you are, your name, whatever you want to give, maybe where you're from, and kind of like a little bit of a background about you, whatever information you're comfortable sharing.
Cool, man. Yeah, so originally I'm from South Louisiana. Like all my family, they all talk like this. They're from the Bayou to like gumbo and jambalaya, representing Troy Primo's peppers right here. But I moved around a lot. So I started eating really hot stuff at a young age. My dad, growing up down there, everybody eats raw oysters and you always put some hot sauce on it. From what I understand, since I was a little kid, they would add a little bit, because I wanted what they were doing. I'd see them and they'd put a little Tabasco, it's entry level sauce for a lot of people. It was for me, but they'd put a couple of drops in their oysters and they'd eat them. So I was a little kid, like, I think my dad said like 2 or 3, and I wanted what they did. So they'd add a little bit of hot sauce to it and I would eat it. So that's as far as I know when I first started eating hot stuff. So I don't even remember that. That's what they're telling me, family story, right?
Sure.
But as a whole, it was at entry level. And I just, being South Louisiana, eating crawfish and spicy stuff, jambalaya and stuff. It was in our family. It was our culture. That's what we did. And I remember just my dad, he'd make Indian curry and he'd make it pretty hot, use habaneros and stuff. And I remember eating that at probably, I guess, about 10, 11 years old. And that was probably the hottest thing I'd ever eaten. And it was pretty warm for,
Sure.
For most people. Like I say, if you're not a chili head, you wouldn't eat it. But my dad likes it spicy like that. So, that's pretty much what got me in the groove to start eating hot stuff, is just my family, and the culture in South Louisiana. But currently I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, I mean, it's a great place it's hot out here. So it's a great place to eat hot stuff,
Right. For sure. Yeah. So a lot of times the people I interview, it's been a lifelong pleasure for them to eat spicy or hot foods. Very few times do I interview somebody and they're like, no, I just tried it one day and kept going with it. But it is interesting to see people's backgrounds and where they're from and how they progress from spicy to challenge level type stuff. And what I'm going to ask next is, so as a kid growing up, you're like, yeah, it's spicy, but when did you like realize like you really push your limits? When did you start realizing that became?
Well, I was living in upstate Northwest Montana by Glacier Park. And I had a good friend of mine that lived across the street from the house we had, and he would, you know, he would get ghost peppers, and you could buy them at the local store, and we put them on pizza and eat them. It was kind of like, encouraging one another and getting our friends to eat it, and maybe sometimes a couple of times we put them on there, not tell anybody, and let them take a bite of it. Maybe I don't know if I would do that now looking back, but it was kind of funny, getting people to burn up. So I noticed that I could eat them on the pizza, and it didn't really bother me as much as some of the other guys around. So I was like, oh, okay. So I realized that I kind of had a little bit of natural tolerance to some hot stuff. And then I remember from there, during right before the pandemic, I'd say probably 2018, the end of 2018, I started watching more YouTube videos, and 2018, 2019, I was watching Johnny Scoville, like a lot of us have been. And, I was wondering, I was like, man, I used to remember eating those pieces of pizza with, hot peppers on them and hot sauce and ghost peppers. And I was like, I wonder if I could, eat some of the stuff that he does.
Right.
And just through watching him. And I remember they used to do the first Friday of every month, they would do a League of Fire challenge together, and you could do it on Chase the Heat.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, man, I'm going to go for this. And my wife's like, you're crazy, So I had bought some, I had some tubatera peanuts, and I got one. Kind of trained a little bit with one tube and just eat a couple here and eat a couple there. And it was pretty warm. And I noticed as I started eating them more and more a little bit every day, they weren't as hot. So I was like, I prepared myself for that first Friday. It's probably about 3 weeks before they did that.
Nice.
And the first challenge I ever did was a tubatera on Chase the Heat with Johnny.
So we know you like ghost pepper on pizza. Do you like pineapple on pizza? Is that something?
Do I like pineapple?
Yeah, on pizza.
I love pineapple.
Yeah. I'm a pineapple on pizza guy too, but the chili queen wanted to know.
Some people say it doesn't belong, and I like it with the sweet and the hot peppers. I think it mixes really good. I've got some peppers that I vacuum sealed, some fresh pods that kind of split them open and vacuum seal it, and I'll take some out, and then when we eat pizza and stuff, I'll chop them up and put them on there or add them to a meal. But I love that the Canadian bacon or ham, whatever you want to call it, with pineapple and hot peppers. It's legit.
Yeah, I actually use bacon on mine when I put them on, so I actually use the bacon.
It's better with that. I agree.
Yes. So that's really cool. So we're here because you accepted an invitation fairly recently to attend, well, originally the belt match, but there were so many contestants that they decided to have 2 competitions. And you were one of the lucky ones to make it into the America's belt match. What was it like when you received that invitation?
It was pretty humbling, actually. I was fortunate to be on a private League of Fire event last December in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that was actually my first pepper contest I'd ever sat down and eaten peppers. And
go ahead and touch on that, because that was going to be my next question.
So yeah, when I got that invitation for that, which I believe led to this, it was just super humbling. Like everyone's my heroes. I mean, everybody that's in these matches, I look up to every single one of them. Some of them, they're in the game for a long time. Some of them are new, but it doesn't matter. We're all, we're just chilly heads having fun. And when you can get it around a group of people that are like-minded doing that, it's as good as it gets, man. It's just fun.
Right.
So yeah, super humbling. I was actually pretty surprised and pretty humbled that they would ask me to be in that.
Yeah. So the winner of this gets an automatic seat in the next belt match. That's correct?
Yep.
That's awesome. That's a really cool way. I think they should do more contests like this throughout, and then put together a main stage table. You know what I mean? Like that way, I think we can open up our ranks. And I understand where they come from with offering people that they know are going to be willing to take the challenge. But I think this will start opening up what League of Fire can expand on So what do you think about that? Would that be something
I
you would
think it's a great idea. Hold on, let me fix that. All right. I think it's a great idea. One of the things that for me looking at it is there's a lot of people that, in my opinion, are worthy
sure.
to be in these contests. Some people that maybe have not gotten the invite, but I know in my personal opinion, they're just rock stars from the chili community, and so this is an opportunity for people that's maybe new in the community, or just getting involved, or they've been in there for a long time. Maybe they're pillars in the community that haven't really had a chance to enter something like a pepper eating contest or something. Here's the thing: is like they do a lot of them in Europe and stuff, but the countries are smaller, so it's easier to travel around. The United States is so big, so you have people all over, and sometimes it's hard to travel. And I know we have some people coming from across from the East Coast coming to the West Coast to do this. I was there last year, and it was the first time that I'd ever been in anything like that. So I just went as a spectator. I'd never been to any kind of festival or anything like that. So I went to just go check it out, meet some people, and hang out with some of the people that I knew would be there. And and I saw how much fun they had, and I'm like, I want to be in this next year. So when I got that invite, I was super stoked, and it's just a way to get people to maybe push themselves a little bit, and with the criteria they have, they do a spin wheel, and they pick names and they spin the wheel. That's how you get selected. So it's pretty, in my opinion, it's a great way to do it because it's even. It doesn't matter. Anybody, maybe you just started eating hot stuff and you've done some challenges, and that's the thing. So for me, it was just super stoked to be able to get that invite and be in this.
Yes. So you describe this as fun for somebody that may not be in this type of environment eating spicy food. How can you describe this as fun? What makes it fun for you?
For me, what I like the most about it is just being able to be around, you know, hang out with people that are like-minded. So, it's a lot of us, including me, is like I live in a town, and I really like all my close friends, the people I hang out with. I've got a few that I'm trying to start to convert to eat more and hot stuff, but majority of us live in a place and we don't have the people that will share or join in with us with our self-inflicted pain, should I say.
Right.
So being able to go to a contest like that, and I'll tell anyone, if you get a chance to go to any kind of one of these events where you can hang out with people that really like pushing the envelope and eating hot stuff, and even if it's just hot sauce, it might be somebody that the thing about it doesn't matter how much hot stuff you like, it's the matter that you do like hot stuff. So I never want to discourage anyone to or say like, hey, well, I can't do that. Well, you probably can, but in that, everybody's got their own tolerance. So it's getting around those people and seeing that the community is just welcoming, that for anybody that comes in to to do whatever they can, and it doesn't matter. It's okay. So this guy eats 10 reapers, this guy habaneros as hot as he can go. Both of them are pushing themselves. So to me, that's the coolest thing, is getting around people in person. Not I like the online stuff, it's great to connect even like this, but it's something about hanging out together. It's just it's really cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, just just the friendships and the pictures that I've seen through, like, these festivals almost become like a reunion to people that you've met online, and it's like, yes, I finally get to, and they are genuinely the same people that you get their expression online and on these challenges. So they are genuine people. They are everyday people with everyday jobs, and so they're no different than anybody else out on the street. Very welcoming, open arms kind of thing, and it's an amazing community because of that. And we call ourselves a community, but we are open to the world. Literally. That's why we
Absolutely.
have the League of Fire. It's open to the world. The entire world can compete in the same contests, here and there, and we spread this everywhere. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty of stuff. I assume you have um, push your limits with a challenge. What challenge, whether it be a League of Fire or not, would you say has really maxed you out or really gave you the most trouble?
I think there was a couple. It's surprising. A lot of times for me, it's not mouth burn, it's gut
Yep.
tolerance.
Yep.
And that's one of the hardest things to build. Like I did the Nemesis bar, and I'll be honest with you, the taste was phenomenal. I liked it. I ate it, and it wasn't that bad. The actual challenge itself, I even got done. I was like, wow, I was surprised that, thought I was going to struggle eating it. I didn't have trouble eating it at all.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I was sweating, my eyes were a little watery, but I expected it to give me more trouble, and it didn't. But after, man, cap cramps were brutal on that thing. I mean, I think there's 30 Reapers in that thing or something like that.
Something like that. About 30, 32, yeah.
So that one was probably pretty tough. And then I did one from Bruce Smith, Pastor Bruce. There's a big giant gummy bear with, I think it had like 2 ounces of tincture or something like that. Some crazy amount of tincture in it.
Right.
120 milliliters or so. I forget exactly how much it was. And that was probably the only one that I ate. And before I could finish the challenges, I'm eating it, my body just says no. It just rejected it. And, so I didn't do it on camera. But I had to hit the boot bucket about 3/4 of the way through my body. And I was down. I was trying to eat it. And it was super hot, but my eyes were burning so bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't see, it was just spicy tears. And, as I was taking those last couple of bites, I was almost done. My body just said nope. So that was probably the toughest out of all of them. It's called a king bear.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when they did that challenge or put that out there, and it was definitely interesting to see some people do that. But yeah, so would you say you struggle more with like chocolates, or like what types of challenges give you the most trouble? Some people say, "Oh, it's
So
chocolate
chocolates for me,
it's the gummy."
Chocolates are super easy. Like I don't know why. I'm one of those people that for me personally, I can kind of wheel through them pretty quick without much trouble. As for toughness, anything that's loaded hardcore with cap crystals or extract, those are a little rough. It's one of them challenges. It's a little longer.
Right.
That it hits your stomach and you got to kind of push through as it's in your stomach, I would say. Those are probably the hardest. And, I'll be honest with you, like fresh pods, if you're going to eat a bunch of fresh pods and those are sitting on your stomach and you're in something like a pepper contest where you just got to sit there and wait for round and round and round, it's just sitting in there brewing in your gut. Those are tough ones. As far as individual challenges, though, I'd probably say, just things loaded with cap crystals or extract where, that's a longer challenge. If it's pretty quick, I'm usually okay. But if it's something that's going to be like a drug out challenge, like Tubateras, you got 10 minutes to eat the peanuts, then a 5-minute afterburn or suffer session. That's a pretty long challenge, as you're going through it. And it's hot from the very beginning. They don't get like, some challenges get hotter as you go.
Right.
I actually prefer the one like the Tubatera, because right off the bat you get the heat and you just go through. Some of the ones that build, by the time you get to that end, you're feeling it. So that's my opinion anyway.
For sure. What challenge would you say you've enjoyed the most? Whether it be because you thought it was easy, and I'm not saying that these challenges are easy, but whether you had just enjoyed it or just taste wise or something. And it doesn't have to be a League of Fire challenge, but anything.
I would say the chocolate challenges to me, I really like spicy sweets. Even if it's like hot sauce on ice cream or whatever, I like the sweet with the spicy, something about it. It's even like we're talking about the pizza, the pineapple with the hot. I like the sweet and spicy things. Spicy honey, all that stuff for me works really good. My body likes it. I tend to be able to tolerate it a little bit better. So I would say any of the Willie Pete's chocolate challenges, the Chili Cherry Nightmare, or the Moab Bar, or any of those challenges for me, those are the ones that I really, really, really like. And if it wasn't because I'm trying to, I'm on a pretty rigorous diet right now. So I'm like cutting carbs and sweets out. So I'm not doing, I'm not eating a lot of sweet stuff. But if I had a choice, like if you put a bunch of challenges in front of me, I'd probably gravitate to either one of the old Agnes brownies or the chocolate challenges. I just like them, they taste good. You
They
be honest
do.
with you, some of the challenges, they're not, maybe not be the best tasting things, I mean, I got to where I was doing those Tubatera peanuts and the Death Nut 3.0, and I got to where I was like, man, these dang peanuts. I was kind of over the peanut thing for a while, so I couldn't take a break from those. But the chocolate ones, I've never really said, oh, I don't want to eat those. They're just tasty.
Right. So I assume that you have dealt with aftermath cramps, stuff like that. What is your remedy for that? Whether it be just laying on the cold tile floor or trying, what is your remedy for that?
So it's funny you asked that. I call it cat cramps yoga. So
Okay.
like you get in the best position that you can handle the cramps, and usually it's on my knees with like either my arms up on the edge of the bed and a cool fan blowing on me, or it's the tile floor. But you find the position that you can handle the cramps the best, and that you just got to kind of ride it out. And the only thing that really helps is time. You know,
Right.
it's to me it's good when the body rejects it, so you finish the challenge and it comes out, because that minimizes how hard you have to ride it out. But my body, like, I have a hard time booting stuff, like especially some of those chocolate challenges, it just don't come up.
Right.
So you just hold on for the ride. And especially like the Psycho Bears or any of those gummy challenges, those things are just brutal. They just stick in there and they hang on, and
Right.
you're white knuckling it. You're on for the ride. But I'd say, get in the best position that I can handle the cramps, and usually that cold fan blowing on me, and sometimes even a wet washcloth or an ice pack in the back of your neck or whatever. It can minimize it, but only thing that really helps is time, man.
Awesome. Um, so what is your favorite fresh pepper to eat?
You know, that's hard because I got a few that I really like, and a lot of really, really super hots. If most people will be honest, they don't taste that good. They're either
Sure.
super floral, bitter, combination of both. But I think probably one of the best ones that I've had was like an orange brain strain. It had a little bit of citrus to it, and it was sweet. And the thing about it is I've eaten a handful of them, and like a couple of them weren't that good. But on average, I think orange brain strain, in fact, I've got a packet that's vacuum sealed in my freezer. That's probably my favorite. I used to say it was a scorpion, and that was like when I first started. And I think that's on my League of Fire profile, just because I was gravitating to the most hottest stuff. And, scorpion peppers where I could get my hands on it. But being honest, I'd say either like um, KSLS, Kang Star, or orange brain strain, something like that, lemon brain strain, or one of those crosses that's got a little bit of fruitiness or citrus to it, and not as much floral.
Yeah. So some people that can eat the super hots or even hot range of peppers, and we can describe a taste. So for those who maybe not eat spicy food, how would you compare that? Like, how do I get this different flavor profile? Like, to me, I compare it to like different types of maybe a whiskey or something, where some people have a acquired taste and some people are like, ugh, How would you say that, if you understand my question, how you get to that level of tasting the flavors?
Well, I think it's tolerance. It's how much you eat them. You can mix them, put them in stuff that kind of cuts, like I said, some of the bitterness or whatever. But I think it's just, the more you eat them, it's kind of like if you've ever had a really good scotch that's, an old, a matured scotch, that some of them, it might be like a Lafroig or something that's like peat moss. It's got that earthiness to it. That's
Right.
an acquired taste. It
Sure.
takes a while to get to that point where you actually enjoy it. And, I'd say the same thing with super hots. It's the more that I've eaten them is the more that I actually like them. I forced my way through when I first started eating fresh pods, because I seen other people do it, and I'm like, well, this is part of the game. Let's eat them. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy them, just being
Right.
real. But the more I eat them and seeing the different tastes and heat levels of them, you kind of get, it's almost addicting. You start eating them and you kind of get accustomed to it. And, you build up that tolerance, and you build up also, a taste for it is the best way I could describe it.
And Paul says the best way to help fight the burn is to not eat the hot stuff in the first place.
That's true. I mean, it's like, hey, if you've got issues or whatever, and that hot stuff's not for you, the best way to avoid it is just don't eat it. And I'll segue off of that. So look, I eat a lot of hot stuff, but everything I eat is not hot.
Right.
There's certain times I want a meal that's made like my grandma would make in South Louisiana. Like either I cook it or like my dad would. And be honest with you, a lot of Cajuns don't. My grandma didn't eat hot stuff. She liked the way she cooked stuff was the way that it was Cajun, brown,
Right.
like fresh herbs and browned onions. And it was the way of cooking. As far as spices, she didn't really like hot stuff, salt and pepper and fresh herbs. That was her go-to. So, if I want to eat something like that and get that taste that I remember from when I was a kid, I won't spice it up. But, certain things that, like that pizza, man, I got to have something hot on my pizza. I can't, it's to a point where I got to have that. But, I don't think everything has to be spicy. That might be like sacrilegious in the community. Everything I don't eat is spicy. But majority of things I do, I'd say probably 95% of the stuff I eat, I put something hot on it, be it powder, which powder's a great way to maybe spice something up without changing the flavor profile too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and you can kind of control how much you put on and stuff like that for sure.
Right.
So what is your way of preparing yourself for a challenge or even like this pepper contest? What is your prep like?
So a lot of guys that are in this have started really pushing about now. If you look, we're about a month away thereabouts. So I think that's a good time to start pushing. I would say up to 3 or 4 days before, you really want to, start, you be it tincture, hot sauce, whatever. You want to be consistent with it, doing it every day. One of the things is getting your mouth where you have that mouth tolerance, because you're going to be eating some hot stuff. Gut tolerance comes with, to me, that's the hardest thing to build. So like, fresh pods, you're going to be in a pepper eating contest, start eating fresh pods. If you can get your hands on them, you start doing it. And I really don't like to start too early as far as prep wise. I don't want, or should I say building tolerance wise, I don't want to start, 3 months before, because, the level it takes to keep that tolerance up, if you start a couple of weeks in advance and you start pushing pretty good, your tolerance will be up there by the time you enter that contest, daily. If you hit something really hard, and when I say hard, make your eyes water, happy tears, maybe a little bit in the gut. You start pushing that a little bit, about 2 weeks before, you're usually pretty ready for it. And then, the day of, I've got to do something hot in the first thing in the morning. I got to get that, that stuff in my system. And, even if it hits the gut a little bit, but not too much, but get it where it's in your system and you're preparing, because otherwise if you just sit down and eat that stuff, just immediately it's going to light you up, and then you're going to struggle for the rest of the contest. That's my opinion.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think that's fantastic. So let's say somebody wants to attempt to push their limits, so to speak, and try something hotter than they may be able to, or I don't want to say handle, but try to see how high they can go. What advice would you give to that person who's in the middle of the burn to either help themselves or get through that in general? Or even the advice for the, we know your idea for the camp, but like, let's say you're in the middle of the burn, you pushed your limits. What advice would you give to that?
That's a good question. For me, it's always going to be mental. I know that for me, I've just got to really, I got to recognize that when you start seeing that stuff hitting you really hard, you got to get in that place, that place in your mind where you just get that mindset and just know to push through it. And it's definitely mental fortitude. But with that being said, is like most people can eat hotter stuff than they think.
Sure.
You start out and it's pretty hot, and then that next bite gets a little bit hotter, and for me, I get to a place that it's like it's only going to get so hot. Like you get kind of maxed out on your meter.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, like extract and cap crystals are different, but like fresh peppers or something, if you can get through that initial heat by it, like every bite, I mean, it does grow, especially, certain things will grow, but you'll end up hitting that red line, that needle will get up there. And once it hits that, to me, then I'm kind of in my happy place. Then it's mental for me. It's like, okay, I made it this far. This is as hot as it's going to get. So I'm just going to keep pushing through it and thinking that you can do more than you can. You have to have that mindset going in and just try to focus on, get in your happy place, get your mindset and just say, okay, I'm going to do it and just push through.
So as we start kind of winding this thing down, is there a way or how can we see more of you? Are you a social media presence? Is there a way we can see more of you? Or are you just kind of a community person or whatever?
Well, I've really been not as active on YouTube that like lately at all. I haven't made any videos. Just got a lot going on personally. So I've really just kind of, I'll be a little active here and there on social media and Instagram. But leading up to the contest, and I got to start making more videos just so people out there can just enjoy the journey with me, because I just want to share because I'm having fun. For me,
Right.
Like I said, I've been on a diet that's really carb, like non-existent almost, trying to lose weight and get healthier. And because of that, it's been limiting how much hot stuff you can eat, because, if you are going to enter a contest or something, you need to eat some carb heavy stuff. And a lot of it's like, milk fats like yogurt or cottage cheese. And then, a lot of I like mashed potatoes and stuff like that. So it limits how much you can, you can eat if you're on one of these diets. So that in turn puts a limit on how much hot stuff I can eat too. So, but regardless, I got a contest coming up. So the diet is probably going to take a back seat. I know I'm probably going to gain some weight. I've talked to some people, my good buddy, FJ Jared Smith, we were talking a while back about how much we gained entering a contest and just prepping and getting your body used to it. So, but hey, it's game time. It's starting to push. So I'll probably gain a bunch of pounds that I lost. I'll gain it back. But after the contest, we'll hit it hard again. And just, it's that same mental fortitude. You got to be, what it's going to take to do this. So, what you got to do afterwards to make up for it. That's what, so I'll be more present on social media and YouTube, eating some peppers and stuff.
So I usually give this moment for you to give any like free plug, maybe a shout out or anything like that. If you have anything like that, feel free to do this at your own will. It can be anything, it could be for any cause, any reason, any person. So this is your time to kind of do that, and then kind of wrap that up with your thoughts and how you feel about the contest coming up and the experience in general.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank League of Fire. To me, it's a great organization that it's worldwide. So we get to kind of participate in everyone's journeys and be part of a big group that's, just bigger than, you think you have a group of people and you kind of get close to them, but you realize this group is worldwide. So, I mean, I got friends other side of the pond, Grandpa Stu and just a bunch of different people on the other side, Paul Oro and a bunch of people, it's just Shen and just Matt Tangent, all these guys that are, people in other parts of the world. So I got to thank League of Fire first and foremost. And then, it's like people like you. I mean, I'm on here, dude. And like you, so you're giving us a platform to share what our feelings are, what we're doing and why we're doing it. So that's super, I'm super stoked that, you would take your time out to do this because I feel blessed to have this happen. And then, people that inspired me, like I said, Farmer Jay, Troy Primo's Prep, my Cajun brother. There's so many good people that it's just, Vic Klinko, this
Yes.
guy, I don't know if you
Oh
can
yeah.
see
Oh, Vic,
his
yeah.
sticker, world's largest hot sauce. He sends me stuff. I just could go on and on. It's hard to pick anybody, but I mean, there's so many good people in the community. Jiff the fireman, all these guys are just, to me, they're heroes. And to be, around these guys, that's what I'm saying. You guys, if you get a chance to go to one of these pepper contests or hot sauce festivals or whatever it is, you need to go and hang out with some people. I'm going to tell you, most of them are more humble than you can imagine. It's just like hanging out. And even though you've never met in person, like I said, these are some of my best friends that I never met. So every time I meet someone of them, it's like, man, it's just so much fun. So I want to thank, just the community in general.
Awesome. Appreciate that. So this pretty much ends the form of the interview. But I think before we leave, you have a surprise you would like to share and maybe do a little extra something.
Well, I might as well do something. So I got this, actually one of the orders that I made from League of Fire. I got my card. So I'm a league. I have a hero card, and I should have pulled one out to have it here, but I got one of these Scoville Slammers, Johnny nice. Scoville. And I figured this was appropriate. To be honest with you, if it wasn't for Johnny, and more people that I know would say that, he really is the one that got me to the next level. Is like watching this guy. He's been an inspiration for a lot of people, and personally me too. That's it's one of my heroes, man.
Awesome. So before we get started, and for your own purposes, if you want to record this portion for yourself, if you haven't already, go ahead and get that started, and then we'll get into a disclaimer and hit right into it.
All righty, let me take a sip of this before. So here we go. All righty. So let's get this disclaimer out. I, Rhett Grizzly Heat Griffin, am of over 18 years of age, of sound mind, questionable, and I've read and understood the hot sauce product disclaimer on the League of Fire website. In summary, I accept the League of Fire, their suppliers and manufacturers will, under no circumstances, be responsible for or liable for any claims of injury or damage arising from me consuming this product or multiples thereof. I acknowledge and agree to this without question.
Amazing.
So as you guys can see, sealed bottle, even got the card stuck to it.
Keep it all in camera.
And this is $5.97 of 1,000. That's the number on the bottle. Give it a good shaky shake. And let me pull this up because I need a timer as well. It's 4 minutes after completion of the
open mouth. Yep. An empty bottle.
Empty mouth, 4 minutes. If I'm not mistaken, that's it, right?
That's correct. Yep.
All right. So I got my timer here. I'm going to try to put it where both cameras can kind of see it.
I got a timer here too. So if you want to do yours, if you need it where it's not in the way, that's fine too. However, but yeah, this is for your purpose and your submission. So this is for entertainment here.
Yep.
He's going to do a video for his submission. So
yeah, but I can see it on both. So awesome. Anyway, I've done one of these before. I'll be honest with you guys. This is new, so I don't do a lot of chugs. It's never been my thing. I've just never had them, but I like them. I got to do the ginger one when I was in North Carolina. I was one of the first ones to get to do that. It was really good chug. I liked it a lot. So for me, chug challenges are pretty good stuff, man. It's like, I like hot sauce. Most people that eat a lot of hot stuff, they like hot sauce. So
yeah,
I do too. So there's the wrapper. Just took it off, try to keep it in the frame. So yeah, there we go.
Chug it straight from the bottle.
That's it. I'm not going to do a shot glass. I might as well just do it from the bottle. That's the way I like to go. Here we go. Cheers, everyone.
Excellent. All right, countdown begins. So again, I do like to thank you for taking this time out to join me. And then this is kind of early for you, so hitting this challenge basically at lunchtime.
Yeah, it's all good. I did do a little bit of prep, not much. I find these are really tasty.
Yeah.
The first one I did, I don't know how many I could do consecutively, but one's not bad. Sits on the gut pretty decent. So lunchtime, this is a little snack after lunch then, I guess.
Yeah, so I just recently did 10 straight days of chug challenges.
Yeah, I saw that.
So some of them were multiples, and the day I did the Scoville Slammer was a day that I literally had to I did it, had to go. I literally had like 10 minutes to do the challenge and go because I had a prior engagement that I had prearranged. And
how was that?
Well, we met at a dinner place first, and it sat on my stomach. So I went outside and did what I had to do, and then a friend of my wife's came out and brought me bread and water like I was somebody on the poor from the street. And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. This is the best thing that I've had all day." I thought I did a quick prep, but at the same time, I knew we were going to dinner, so I was like, I didn't want to eat too much. But yeah,
I've done that. I'll be honest with you. I've eaten something really hot, and I had to go to the grocery store and pick some stuff up. And I'm walking through the grocery store, and the cramps start hitting me, and I'm kind of leaning on the basket, making around the corner, and kind of breathing through it. I was like, huh, this is really fun, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy it. It's fun, but eating something like that and then having another commitment, that's happened. I know what that's like.
Yeah. And I would say that day that I did that, I felt good because it was pretty deep into my challenges. I think I was on day 7 or 8 of challenges. I probably could have done multiples of those. But I say that because originally my goal was to do multiples of the original Killer Queen challenge. And I did one, and I had a few extras sitting here, and I was supposed to do them with Midge, and he got through 3 of them. Amazing beast. And then,
well, I was privileged to watch Mike Jack destroy these.
Yeah,
and a couple other people I've seen in Scoville unit Chris Fagali. He's got one of them guts of iron. I don't know if I could do that many chugs. We'll see. I did see, so you guys know, League of Fire just released the berry one.
The berry one. Yeah.
So I immediately went on the website, and I got a few. I'm going to try to do many multiples of those and see how they work for me. I spent probably more money than I should have, but figured new challenge. Let's get them. Let's see what happens. So
we all do, and I'm super excited. There is so much variety in these new challenges that have been released in the last 6 months. It's so awesome that these.
Well, for me, so they got ones like the ginger one, and there's entry level.
Yes.
What is the other one? The little wafer from Old Agnes.
The unbearable.
Or they have the nougat. To be kidding me.
That's delicious.
I got to do that one too. Those are a lot of entry level challenges. So okay, maybe you're not. Tubatera might not be your thing.
Yeah.
But you could do something like that and get points and get in the League of Fire. And to me, it's really cool.
Yep. And they're not super easy. They still have heat and they still have a challenge to them, especially if this isn't the environment you're in. But they're good to see to kind of test you. So you amazingly did it. Yep. The challenge. And again, I appreciate you greatly. Final thought. Right here. Final thought.
Final thought. I'm super stoked for the contest. I'm super stoked. There's a lot of people that I get to meet in person that are going to be there that I haven't, including some of the ones I have, like Jason Harrell, the last year's champion. Guy's stellar. One of the coolest guys I ever met. And I can't wait to hang out with him and his wife. My wife's going to be there. So if you guys are in that area, you can get to San Diego, Broadway Pier, June 17th, I believe it is. Try to get there. And hey, you can do more than you think you can. Yeah, that's my advice.
And guys, don't be strangers to these people just because they're on the stage. They're human beings.
And most most of them, like if you say, "Oh, I don't want to walk up and talk to them because of whatever," I'm gonna tell you, most of these people are super humble and they'll appreciate you walking up and going, "Hey, I've been watching you for a while. It's good to meet you in person." They will like that.
Awesome. Again, I appreciate your time. That's all I have for you. Thank you for your time and joining me and getting to know you a little bit better and kind of how you see it. You know,
Well, I appreciate you, Crazy Jay. You know, you're getting us out there in the limelight so people can get to know us, and I appreciate your time, man, taking time out of your day to do this.
awesome. I'll see you soon.
All right, guys, you have a good one. Stay spicy, pepper people. Peace.
Well, there you have it. Interview with Grizzly Heat, Rhett Griffin. He is, like I said, a genuine guy. Awesome. So if you see the man, say hi. You go to this contest or whatever, say hi. Say hi to the whole gang. Everybody's looking forward to it. And they're the most genuine people you ever meet. Well, you all stay tuned as I have several interviews to get through. So be on the lookout for the next scheduled interview. I'm Crazy Jay. I like to do things the crazy way. Stay crazy, my friends.